This video explores some tips for success in creating an advisory council that can effectively collaborate with program leaders and staff and provides a rewarding experience for council members. The lessons we'll hear today apply to TANF and other human services programs. Many TANF and human services programs are energized by the idea of setting up an advisory council of past or current participants, but making that idea a reality can present challenges. Most advisory councils consist of families who are currently served or were served and operate with limited staff oversight. The purpose of an advisory council is to work closely with the program and program staff to advise on program improvement. Let's first define family input. Family input is when programs collect and use input from the families they serve to improve their programs. It goes beyond a simple satisfaction survey that collects a participant's feedback about a service. Staff can collect and use family input throughout the program improvement process to better understand a problem, identify an opportunity for change, and co-design solutions. Today we will hear from the director of Michigan's State Child Support Program, who helped start their statewide Child Support Community Advisory Council a few years ago. What is the goal of the Advisory Council?
The primary goal of the council is to elevate the voices, interests, ideas, and concerns of families and individuals served by our program and help shape and influence the policies and practices of the program.
What does the Advisory Council do?
The Community Advisory Council meets once a month in the evenings virtually, and they have been tasked with giving input, insight, and strategic advice to inform design and implementation of programs and services through the child support program. We expect interaction and engagement with our council to really help us perform more equitably and also more efficiently.
What are examples of changes the program has made based on the council's input?
An example of what seems like a relatively little thing, but has become really important is one of the first conversations the council had with us is we don't like being called customers. We don't see ourselves as your customer. We don't believe you see us as customers. And so we talked through, well, what would be an appropriate term to use, recognizing that we need to be able to accurately describe those that are served in our program. And so through mutual agreement, we came up with using the term participant. And so we have, over time, shifted our language away from saying customers to saying participants.
How can programs recognize the expertise of council members?
When we first started, we were doing gift cards, if you will, to reimburse folks. And about a year ago now, our department pushed for the department to figure out a compensation model for folks with lived experience. And so now we have a policy in place where we reimburse $42 an hour for participation in our council or in really any activity where we are asking someone to share their story with us in a meaningful way. They have very much valued and appreciated the efforts we've made to provide fair, reasonable compensation for their participation. And we also help them with the barriers that exist. So we've also made sure we have resources on my staff who can walk that through with individuals and make it as easy as possible on them. Because it's one thing to say you're offering compensation and then another thing for it to actually be receivable.
What advice do you have for programs that are trying to establish an advisory council?
My advice would be to put down on paper exactly what it is you want from your advisory council and how you want them to operate. I think one of the lessons learned we've had is we did put something on paper, but it wasn't super specific around exactly what outputs or outcomes we were expecting from the council. My advice also is persist. There were a lot of folks along the way who told us this, you can't do this. And it did take us a full, solid a year and a half. Now, COVID interrupted some of that planning, but it took us a long time to put together something that we felt like addressed our needs and would create a productive space for participants. So we spent a lot of time thinking about how we were going to build relationships, both among facilitators and the participants, and then the participants themselves. We spent a lot of time talking about expectations around showing up and participating on the council. Be really clear about what you're able and willing to put in the hands of the council and what you're not.
For more information about how programs can engage families for program feedback, check out the Family Input Resources Toolkit, developed by the Family Input Study Team and a work group of TANF and child support administrators, practitioners, and people with lived experience in the programs. This work is a part of the TANF and child support moving forward, further incorporating family input study, sponsored by the Office of Planning, Research, and Evaluation. This video was produced with the support from Project Improve, sponsored by the Office of Family Assistance.